In 1983, Casio dropped a watch off a 3-story building, bounced it across concrete, and handed it to a team of engineers to destroy. They couldn't. That watch became the G-Shock. And 40-plus years later, nothing in the affordable watch market has come close to matching what this lineup delivers on toughness, technology, and outright value. But here's the problem. There are hundreds of G-Shock models, and most buyers either grab the cheapest one they find or get paralyzed by the options and walk away empty-handed. Both outcomes are a mistake. Today we're cutting through all of it. These are the top 5 G-Shock watches worth buying in 2026. The models that actually earn their place, whether you're spending $100 or $900. From the watch that redefined what a G-Shock could look like to the one sitting at the absolute peak of what this lineup is capable of. Stay until number 1. That watch doesn't just win this list, it wins arguments. Let's get into it. Number 5. Casio G-Shock GA2100 Casio. This is the watch that broke the internet and then broke every sales record G-Shock had. The GA2100, nicknamed the Casio for reasons anyone who's seen a royal oak will immediately understand, is the watch that proved G-Shock could be something it had never really been before. Genuinely stylish. The octagonal bezel and integrated bracelet design give this watch a silhouette that punches so far above its price that watch enthusiasts spent months debating whether it was an accident or a masterclass. It was neither. It was Casio being smarter than everyone gave them credit for. At 45mm, the GA2100 features the slimmest profile in G-Shock history, just 11.8mm thick. That number matters because traditional G-Shocks wear like a small building on your wrist. The GA2100 wears like a watch, a real one. The carbon core guard structure uses carbon fiber reinforced resin to keep weight minimal while maintaining the shock resistance that defines the entire lineup. The analog-digital combination gives you traditional hand display alongside digital functions, world time, stopwatch, countdown timer, and 200-meter water resistance. Shock-resistant, as all G-Shocks are, to a standard that would destroy virtually every other watch in its price bracket. Battery life runs approximately 3 years before needing a simple swap from any watch shop. The resin strap is comfortable, durable, and available in enough colorways that finding one that matches your style is not a challenge. Here's the uncomfortable truth about the GA2100. People are paying 4 and 5 times this price for watches with less interesting design and worse real-world durability. The Casio exposed that gap loudly and has never apologized for it. Priced at around $90, the GA2100 is the most design-forward value in watches right now. Not just in G-Shock, in watches. Number 4. Casio G-Shock GW-M5E610 Tough Solar Atomic. If the GA2100 is G-Shock at its most stylish, the GW-M5E610 is G-Shock at its most essential. This is the square, the icon. The watch that has been in continuous production since the beginning and keeps earning its place because nothing at this price delivers this combination of features. The GW-M5E610 is solar-powered. It receives radio signals from 6 atomic clock transmitters worldwide: Japan, the USA, the UK, Germany, and China, and self-corrects automatically, typically while you sleep. The result is a watch that maintains perfect time without you ever touching it. Not approximately perfect, perfect. At 45.4mm Norse, the classic square case shape pays direct homage to the original 1983 DW5000C, the watch that started everything. Wearing the GW-M5610 is wearing 40 years of engineering history on your wrist, except this version is lighter, more accurate, and more capable than anything that came before it. Shock resistance, 200-meter water resistance, negative display with high contrast digits for readability in bright sunlight, auto-illuminated backlight that activates when you tilt your wrist toward your face, hands-free visibility without fumbling for a button in the dark, world time, stopwatch, countdown timer. The watch weighs just 53 grams. Tough solar charging builds a reserve capable of running the watch for up to 10 months in total darkness after a full charge. That is not a specification designed to impress on a spec sheet. That is a watch engineered to keep working in situations where other watches have already failed. The GW-M5610 is the G-Shock that military users, outdoor professionals, and serious enthusiasts keep coming back to, not because it's the flashiest option, but because it is relentlessly, consistently, unglamorously excellent. Priced at around $150, the GW-M5610 is the definitive G-Shock. 40 years on, nobody has built a better argument against it. Number 3. Casio G-Shock DW5600, the original blueprint. The Casio made G-Shock cool for a new generation, before the GW-M5610 added solar and atomic accuracy. Before any of it, before me, there was the DW5600, and in 2026, it still belongs on this list, not out of nostalgia, out of respect for what it is. The DW5600 is the direct descendant of the original 1983 G-Shock. The case shape is unchanged. The proportions are unchanged. The fundamental philosophy, build a watch that simply will not break, is unchanged. And that stubbornness is exactly why it matters. At 42.1 series, the DW5600 is slightly smaller than most modern G-Shocks, which makes it surprisingly wearable for a watch built like a survival instrument. The resin case and bezel absorb impact through their structure rather than fighting it. The same engineering logic that made the first G-Shock survive a 3-story drop and has kept this design relevant for 4 decades. The digital display delivers time, date, stopwatch, countdown timer, and 5 daily alarms. 200-meter water resistance. Shock resistance as standard. EL backlight for low light readability. Battery life of approximately 2 years before a straightforward swap. What the DW5600 lacks in solar charging and atomic accuracy, it makes up for in something harder to quantify: authenticity. This watch doesn't reference the original G-Shock. It is the original G-Shock, updated just enough to function in 2026 without losing the design integrity that made it iconic in the first place. For collectors, it's a piece of history. For first-time G-Shock buyers, it's the purest expression of what this lineup was built to be. For everyone else, it's a virtually indestructible watch for under $80 that will outlast most of what's sitting next to it in any display case. Priced at around $69 to $79, the DW5600 is proof that some things don't need to be fixed. They just need to keep showing up. Number 2. Casio G-Shock GWG-2000. Mudmaster Tough Solar. Now the list gets serious. The GWG-2000 is not for everyone. It is large, it is heavy, and it is deliberately, unapologetically built for environments where most watches, including many other G-Shocks, would struggle to survive. That is exactly the point. The Mudmaster line exists because standard G-Shocks, for all their toughness, still have gaps. Mud can infiltrate button gaps. Fine dust can compromise function. Extreme cold can drain electronics faster than expected. The GWG-2000 addresses all of it, systematically and without compromise. The 52mm carbon core guard structure uses carbon fiber reinforced resin for a case that is simultaneously lightweight and extraordinarily strong. Mud resistance is built through protective button covers and case engineering that seals every potential entry point. The screw-lock crown adds another layer of protection for total submersion. Water resistance stands at 200 meters. Triple sensor version 3 is onboard: Saxstar, digital compass, altimeter, barometer, and thermometer. Navigation data, weather prediction through pressure tracking, temperature readings for environmental awareness. This watch gives you information that matters when you're somewhere that punishes being uninformed. Tough solar charging powers the entire system with months of reserve from full charge. Multiband 6 atomic timekeeping ensures the time displayed is always correct. The analog-digital combination delivers sensor data, timing functions, and world time in a layout that remains readable under pressure. Sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating protects the display in bright sunlight conditions. The GWG-2000 is the watch that expedition users, search and rescue teams, and serious outdoor professionals reach for when conditions are genuinely demanding. It is not trying to look tough, it is tough. Every engineering decision in this watch serves a functional purpose. Priced at around $800, the GWG-2000 is a serious investment. but compare it against Swiss outdoor watches at 2 to 3 times this price, offering the same or lesser specifications, and the question stops being whether it's worth it. The question becomes why you'd spend more. Number 1. Casio G-Shock, MTG B3000, Master of G Metal, and here it is. The watch that sits at the absolute peak of what G-Shock is capable of building. The MTG B3000 is not just the best G-Shock on this list. It is the clearest argument Casio has ever made that G-Shock belongs in a conversation with watches that cost 5, 6, 7 times as much. The MTG Metal Twisted G-Shock series represents Casio's commitment to answering a question the watch industry assumed G-Shock could never answer. What does a luxury G-Shock look like? The B3000 answers it comprehensively. The 40-90mm case is full metal, a layered construction combining a carbon fiber insert case with fine resin and a metal exterior. The result is a watch that carries the visual weight and presence of a high-end timepiece while retaining every element of shock resistance that makes a G-Shock a G-Shock. The finishing is exceptional. Alternating brushed and polished surfaces on the case and bracelet create a depth of quality that demands closer inspection. The bracelet deserves its own mention. The metal band features a fold-over clasp with micro-adjustment, the kind of engineering detail that disappears into the background when done correctly and frustrates you every day when done poorly. Here, it is done correctly. Inside, the MTG B3000 delivers tough solar charging, multi-band 6 atomic timekeeping via radio signals from 6 worldwide transmitters, and Bluetooth connectivity to your smartphone for automatic time synchronization wherever atomic signals don't reach. Triple-layer shock resistance protects the module through a carbon fiber reinforced inner case, an exterior metal structure, and a fine resin buffer between them. The result is shock resistance that operates at an architectural level, force absorbed and redirected before it reaches the movement. Water resistance is 200 meters. Sapphire crystal protects the display. The negative LCD display is sharp, readable, and consistent in any lighting condition. World time, stopwatch, countdown timer, sunrise and sunset data. Here is what the MTG B3000 actually represents. It is the point where Casio stopped asking whether G-Shock could compete with the watch industry's upper tier and started proving it. The finishing quality, the bracelet engineering, the layered case construction, these are not budget compromises dressed up in marketing language. They are genuine manufacturing achievements at a price that forces the broader watch industry to answer uncomfortable questions about what they're actually charging for. Priced at approximately $900,